Hi, I'm Dan from Stooker Specialty Coffee, and here I'm going to demonstrate how to make a very simple Kalita Wave. Now, the Kalita is of Japanese design and is very similar to, say, a V60. The difference being the Kalita has a flat bottom, a flat bed. This is designed so it has a larger surface area for a more increased extraction. It also has these perforated paper filters. These are designed so that it helps navigate the water through the coffee more evenly for a more balanced brew. Okay, so for this, I'm going to need 15 grams of ground coffee. I've ground this similar to, say, sand. We're going to need 250 mils of water. We'll need a stopwatch or a timer. And we'll need a set of scales, ideally to 0.1 gram. So, step one, we need to wet the paper filter. So, when you're using water for brewing, I always recommend using filtered water, and ideally between 92 and 96 degrees. Okay, so to wet the paper filter, pour in the bottom, and then move to the outside of the paper filter. Try to avoid pouring directly on the edges, because if you do, it's likely to collapse inwards, which is not very helpful. Okay, so now we can discard of the unwanted water. This is also a good opportunity to heat the vessel that you're brewing in. Okay, so we can pop the Kalita back on. And next step, we need to turn on the scales and press tare. Okay, so now we can take our coffee, 15 grams, and pop it in. Okay. I always give this a little shake just to level it out, and you can press tare again because we only want the weight of the water when we're pouring in. Okay, so the next stage is the bloom. So the bloom is where we cover all the grounds of coffee. This is a really important part of the brewing process because it allows CO2 to escape from the ground coffee. So we want a bloom of 30 seconds. So as we start to pour, we press the timer and go. I want to pour in roughly 30 to 40 grams of water and stop. And as I mentioned, this gives the coffee a chance to release that CO2. And this helps to a much more balanced brew. It brings out more sweetness and avoids any of that kind of jagged, sharp acidity. Okay, fantastic. So we're approaching our 30-second mark now. At this point, I'm going to continue to pour, and I'm going to pour up to 100 grams. And stop. Add some more water. At 1 minute, I'm going to then pour 50 grams. So that will take me up to 150, like so. You'll notice that I'm pouring in these circular motions as well. The idea behind that is so that it creates a more even extraction. Try not to pour directly on the paper filter because it can cause channeling. And again, it can also cause the paper to collapse inwards, which is not great. Okay, so now at 1 minute 30, I can continue to pour. And at this point, I'm going to take it up to the 200 gram mark. I'm looking for a brew time here of around 3 minutes, 3.5, something like that. Cool. So I'm at 200 now at 1 minute 30. This is good. Once we hit the 2 minute mark, I'm going to continue to pour the rest of the water, which is an extra 50 grams. I want 250 grams in total. So I can do that now. The more even and accurate you can be with the pour, the more consistent the brew will be. Okay, fantastic. So now all I need to do is wait to enjoy the coffee. So as I said, looking for a brew time of about 3 minutes, 3 to 3.5, something like that. The coffee that I'm using today is from Stooker. And it is one of the special coffees that is on at the moment. It's from El Salvador, and it's an alternative processing method, anaerobic fermented coffee. And this is a super special coffee. It gives real kind of like characters of tropical fruits. It's super sweet, almost like candy sweetness, and an absolute delight to brew on a brewing method such as a Kalita. So we're approaching our 3-minute mark, and I would say that that is pretty bang on. Okay, cool. So I can take that off. And now all I have to do, give it a mix together, pour it in, and enjoy. Beautiful. Cheers.